Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we would continue working on some data visualization problems using Tableau. So I have two problems I want us to take a look at today, and I have shared the data on the GitHub on my GitHub profile. I would also include links to the two data set in the YouTube description section below. So please take a look at them and then just download it and practice along with the video. So this problem is basically looking at the relationship between university enrollment and faculty salaries, right? So when I say university enrollment, basically is the number of students we have at a university. So the question says the Ohio Board of Regents is preparing its 5-year report on the state of higher education in Ohio. As an analyst working for OBR, you've been asked to do the following. So create a scatter plot to show enrollment and the percentage 5-year change in average faculty salary for 16 of the largest 4-year institutions that we have in the state of Ohio. Salary is always an interesting topic to talk about or visualize in any industry. Then the second or the part B of this problem is to indicate which of these universities is private on the scatter plot, right? And we're being asked that in order to indicate the private from the public universities, we should use a color to distinguish that. And we can see that we have 5 universities: Case Western Reserve University, University of Dayton, Xavier University, Franklin University, and University of Findlay, right? So those are the 5 universities that are considered private out of the 16 universities we're working with, right? And then also we have to basically give an interpretation of our scatter plot, right? And lastly, we're being asked to use certain parameters for the orange color, right? So that we can look at the different attributes of color, which is hue, saturation, luminance, or brightness, right? So we're going to try to do all of this on our Tableau worksheet. So please download the data and follow along. I'm just trying to open the data on my computer and the Excel file first. Okay, here's the data. I generally like to just kind of take a look at the data we're working with, right? To know what it looks like. So we can see we have 3 columns here. The first is the names of the universities, and we have 16 of them that we're working with. And then the second column is enrollment, which is the number of students we have at the university. So I think University of Findlay is the one with the smallest number of students, and then Ohio State University has the largest, 61,000. And the 5-year percentage change in faculty salary, right? We could see the smallest goes to Youngstown State University, 3.5. And the highest one is Bowling Green State University, yeah, which is in Bowling, Ohio. So that has the highest percentage change in faculty salary over a 5-year period. So, okay. So now that we have an idea on this, we can go ahead and import this data into Excel, into Tableau and continue our analysis. Right, so we can see that same data here, right? So now one thing you would notice is that when we uploaded the data into Tableau, first of all, you could see Tableau puts a comma to kind of differentiate the data and show us that it's in thousands, right? Compared to our Excel file, there were no commas here, right? And then also Tableau is putting it in decimal places instead of percentages, right? So that's another thing I want you to take a note of when you're looking at the data. So let's go to sheet 1. So now we have to create that scatter plot, which would have the percent change in salary on the y-axis, and then the enrollment on the x-axis. So let's go ahead and do that. So let me switch this here. So the enrollment should go to column, and then the rows should go to the percent change should go to the rows. So every time we try to create a scatter plot, right, you can see that the column is always using the aggregate function, which is sum. So we're just going to have like just one dot, right? Or should I just say one data point, because it's aggregating it based on the sum, which is the total value. So go to analysis and uncheck the aggregate measures. Now we have the entire data, right? So, okay, now the other thing I want to do is just do a little bit of formatting. Let's see. Okay, sweet. So we just want to format it and clean it up. So instead of it showing, so I'm going to go back. So right now, when I hover around it, you could see that the 5-year percentage change, it's showing it as a decimal place, right? But we don't want it to be a decimal place. We want it to show us as a percentage, right? So what I've done is come to the 5-year percentage, click on it, click on format, right? Then I have this new pane open here, then go to numbers, and then just change it to percentage, right? So I think I'll make that there. So when I hover around this, you can see now it's saying 21% instead of saying 0.21, right? So please take note of that. Then the next thing I'll do is to just format the entire sheet. So change this, change the shape to this instead of the circle ones. just kind of trying to make it look good. So doesn't do anything to it. Mm. Mm. Okay, so I think this is good, right? We've created the scatter plot, and we've showed the faculty salary for the 16, sorry, the percentage change in average faculty salary for 5 years, right? So we can see it. The other thing we might want to do is put the names of the universities. So now you can see the names of the universities, right? But this makes it really, really busy, right? So rather what what I'll probably do is to take out the names, right? I'll remove it from label and I'll put it as a tooltip, right? Or I can put it as a detail. So if you put it as a detail, so when you hover around the data point, you'd see the name of the university, and you could see the percent change as well as the number, the enrollment. So that way our chart stays very nice and clean, right? So the next thing is for us to indicate which of these universities is private on the scatter chart, and then which one is not. So we have to use the orange color, right? So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let's take the university again and put it in color, right? So that we have the color palette show up here. I'm just going to edit color. So now what I would do is I'm going to make everything gray, right? I'll start with a gray first. I'll make everything gray, apply, right? Then I'm just gonna highlight. So let's see. So we have Case Western. So Case Western, University of Dayton. University of Dayton. The next one is Franklin University. Oh, Xavier. Where is Xavier? Okay, you know what? Let me do it with just one first. So double click on the name, Case Western, and then you see different sliders here. I need you to select the HSB, which is for hue, saturation, or brightness, and all we do is just put in this number. So 25. So the first one is 25, right? The next one is, let's see, the next one is 79, and then the next one is 92. Okay, so you can see that. So I'm just going to go back there. So you can see that once you plug in all of these numbers, it gives us the exact color of orange that we're looking for, right? So now all I'm going to do is kind of use that and repeat it on University of Dayton. So click 25, 79, 92. Okay. Then our next one is Xavier. So double click, Xavier, 25, 79, 92. Okay. And then the last one is Franklin. Oh, sorry, Franklin University. And then let's see, Franklin, and which one is that? University of Finley. Yeah. All right. So we have all of them in orange now, right? So apply, click OK. So now we can see the private universities, right? So we can see the private universities there. Um, now you want to show that. Yeah. So we might not really put the, I don't know if we want to put that or not. Let me see if I put this on. Yeah, it still makes it really busy. So no detail. But what I'm thinking is if we want to put the legend, let me see. If I put this an entire view, yeah, it still makes it. Yeah, it still makes it very busy. So, okay, here it's too busy as well. So let's change that. Um, oh, mm, mm. Yeah, maybe we can have it like this then. Instead of doing custom. No. Nope. Yeah, we can have it like this. So the number of enrollments, so we can see that at 60,000 plus enrollments, Ohio State basically has, yeah, they have 61,000 plus enrollment with a 10% change in faculty salaries. I think I have an error here. I'm just going to correct that change. Okay. All right. So yeah, I could decide to put like a, let's say, a mark here, so somebody knows what exactly that university is. And maybe we could format this, make it white. So usually see that. So yeah, so we can do that. The other thing is that I could just hide this card. I don't want to see it. So this one has a very high enrollment, and the 5-year percentage change in faculty salary is like around 10%. So and then Bowling Green has 17,000 enrollments, right? With a very high percentage change in faculty salary, right? So which is interesting to see. And then University of Findlay, it's like small enrollment, small change. So but then if we look at the private, and so basically in order for us to make this interpretation, right, let's look at the private, which is in yellow, right? So let's do this. Let's say let's put in some additional context so that people know what we're talking about there. So maybe I should put this as a 12. Okay. Yeah. All right, so yellow color, private university, and gray color, public university. Okay, then I'm just gonna put a caption down here. So just to interpret it, right, based off the public and private university. Okay, so basically what we can observe from this scatter plot is that all of the private universities kind of hover around a very small student enrollment, right? With, let me go back. You can see Case Western is probably the only one with the highest student enrollment of 11,000, or let's just say, yeah, let's just say 12,000, right? It's the only one with the highest one, followed by University of Dayton, right? So Case Western has a high enrollment with a high percent change in mean faculty salary, right? So, but then we can see that public universities tend to have higher enrollment, right, than the private universities. I think that's the first thing we can see, with Ohio State having the highest student enrollment, right? So when you're comparing that with the private universities, right? And also, the public universities tend to have higher 5-year change in faculty salaries compared to the public university. I think the only public university with a very small 5-year percent change in salary is Youngstown, right? Yeah, that's the only public university with a small stuff. So my first interpretation would be based on that, right? That the public universities have higher enrollments than the private universities. So okay, that's the first. And then another potential observation we can see from the chart was that, oh yeah, and let me use the, yeah. So public university, higher salary, higher enrollment, and also slightly larger 5-year changes in mean salary. So that's the first two stuff that we can see when you look at the scatter plot. The other thing we could mention is about Case Western University, right, which has one of the highest enrollments and also a high 5-year percentage change in salary when looking at private universities, right? So you could also mention that as part of your observations when trying to understand or interpret what is going on in the scatter plot. But for now, I think I'll just keep mine this way, basically compare the public and the private university. So I think I made a mistake here. I would go correct it. So this should be orange color, not yellow. Okay. All right. So I think, yeah, this is basically how we can create a scatter plot, right? Use some parameters to define our color, and then also create some sort of annotation on your scatter plot, right? To basically highlight a certain variable, right, or a certain data point. Right, so we did it here for public university, which is the highest Ohio State. We could also do it if we want to do the same thing on we want to do the same thing on the I can put it there. So the same thing for okay, you know what? Let's make it there. Yeah, for Case Western. So okay. So we'll just format it, we'll give it a white color. Let's see what else. We'll give it a white color. Let's see, what else do I want to do there? No, I don't want to give it a border or anything. Let's just leave it the way it is. All right, so anybody that looks at it can see, hey, so the orange is a private university, and we can see Case Western has the highest one. And then the gray is Ohio State, right? So that's yeah, so that's how to do it. All right, so we have successfully answered the first question here that focused on relationship between university enrollment and changes in main faculty salary, right? So let's look at a second problem, right? This is a completely different equation, and now we're looking at employment rate by county in a state, the state of Alabama here in the United States, right? So the question says the Labor Market Information Division of the Alabama Department of Labor is preparing its monthly report on unemployment, and it would like to include a choropleth map. I'm just going to say just a normal regular map, right? That shows unemployment rate by county. Use the unemployment rate for each of Alabama's 77 counties provided in the file to create this map. What does this map tell you about where the highest rates of unemployment are in Alabama? So I think this would be the first time in this YouTube video we would get to create a map, right? So please follow along. I think we're going to start really small with this map, just focusing on counties in one single state, right? But you could always replicate the process that we use to create this map into like a larger map, right? So the data I would put the data in the YouTube description as well, so you can download it, right? And basically follow along with us. So I'm going to try to open a new Tableau file here. All right, so while that is opening, save. I'm going to open the data file. It's called Alabama Unemployment. All right, so this is how the Excel file looks like. So we can see the state there. It's just the state of Alabama, right? With how many was it? Oh, 67 counties. Okay, so I think I made a typo here. So it should be 67 counties, not 77 counties. Forgive me for that. Okay, so 67 counties, and we have all of the employment rates for each of the counties. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, right? So we can see the unemployment rate from, let's see, the smallest is 6.9%, which is Coffee County. Yeah. Oh, sorry, no. 6.7% Marshall County, and Western County has the smallest employment rates, or unemployment rate, sorry. And the highest is, I do see an 18%. Oh, there's a 19% actually. Yeah, so 19%. So the highest is Wilcox County. So let's see how you could take all of this and basically do a map with it. So, okay, so let's connect the data as usual. Okay, so just again, just like the previous one, it's percentages. Tableau is showing it to us in decimal places, right? So I'll show you guys how to make adjustments to that, right? So we have our state and our county level data. So let's go to sheet 1. Okay, so here you could see that Tableau uses like a hashtag to differentiate quantitative data, right? So because this is quantitative data, right, it's showing you this way, and it's always going to be a green pill, right? Now for the discrete data, right, you could see the measure names has like some text data, so it's going to show it to you as ABC, right? But then county and state, it's showing it to us as a globe, right? Which shows us that this has some sort of coordinates like longitude, latitude, or those different things, right? To it. So this is how it will show it to us if we're dealing with a map, right? So different ways we could basically load this on Tableau, right? I think one really popular way is just double click. So because the map we're being asked to create is going to be on a county level, right? So if we double click the county, just give it some time, right? It's going to load, right? And it's showing us that 67 counties that we have on our data. That's basically what all of these blue dots are, right? So you could see Tableau puts the mark as a circle, right? As automatic. So it puts it as a circle to show us all of those different places, right? And then just outside, you can see the other states, right? You can see Georgia, you can see Mississippi. If I do this, right, we can see Arkansas or Louisiana, right? And then we can also see the ocean over there, right? But we're focusing on Alabama. So let's put our cursor, or let's put our stuff back there. So once we've loaded the map, now we need to move the, oh no, before I go in there, before I go to that, right? So once you load the map, automatically Tableau will generate the longitude and latitude, right, for those locations, because it has it inbuilt in Tableau, right? There are some instances where you have to go and download the hex files and things like that, right? But for this one, Tableau basically has it inbuilt, so we don't have to worry about that at all, right? So you could see here, we have 67 marks, which basically correlates to the 67 counties that we had in our data. So now what I'm going to do is to move the unemployment rate. But before I do that, let me check something. Application. Oh yeah, I could change the number formatted. Okay, so I'm going to move the unemployment rate to color. Yep, so once I move the unemployment rate to color, you can see that now we see, instead of seeing the counties as a circle, right, we are now seeing the actual boundaries of each of the 67 counties that we're focusing on here, right? So, and then when you hover around it, we can see, okay, the state is Alabama and the county is Wilcox, right? For this one that we're on. We can go in and try to modify some things and things of that nature. So I'll do that in a bit, right? In order to make our chart really, really clear. So the first thing we want to do is, I call the other states noise, right? Because we're not focusing on the other states, we're just focusing on Alabama. So let's go and try to take out the other states so that we can just only have Alabama visible to us and not worry about Georgia or Mississippi or Louisiana or Kansas and all those different things. So right click, and then go to background layers. Then you just want to do the washout. So you can see once we do the washout, right, if you keep it at 34%, we can still see it, but just put it at 100% and it takes out all of the other states. So we can only focus on Alabama, right? So I can close this now because we don't need it anymore, right? The other thing is if you want to put it on street level and things like that, you could always do all of those things, but we're not interested in that, right? Oh, let me show you. So if we put the washout back, if I put it on streets, you can see it will show us all the interstates, everything from a street level perspective, right? If I put it on satellite maps, this is how it looks like from a satellite perspective. Outdoors, this is how it looks like from outdoors, but we're not really interested in any of that, right? So we're just gonna wash that out. So we can close that, right? Now we can just focus on our map and try to make it nice and clean. So we have the measure names, right? We have measure names here, which are basically like the names of the counties, right? So we can take these measure names and drop it in label. Oh no, my bad. Where is it? Oh no, not measure names, the county. Yeah, take the county and drop it in label. Yeah. So we take the county and we drop it in label, right? So now we can see the names of all of the counties. So, which is pretty nice, right? The other thing we could do is maybe try to reduce the size a little bit. Come here. Let's see if I put it on 8 or maybe 7. Then need this. Yeah. Okay. But the other thing I don't like with it is that it's very small, right? So it might be difficult for somebody to read, right? But we can maybe just manage it for now, just to get an idea, right, of the different counties that we're working with. We can always zoom in if we want to see the county names properly. Okay, so now the next thing we want to do is to try to, so you can see when I hover around the county, we have the county name coming first, then the state, and then unemployment rate. So let's flip it because it's like state, county, right? So let's flip that. So come over to two-tube, click on it, this box would show. All we just need to do is copy this. And put it up top, right? That's all, click OK. So when you hover around it, you can see Alabama the state comes first, then the county and the unemployment rate. Then the next thing we want to do is make sure it's showing us percentages and not decimal places. So I'm just going to right click on this. Click on format and change this to percentage. See if I come back. No. I think that should be pane. So change this to percentage. Yep. Okay. So yeah, so now when I hover around it, I can see I can actually see like 19% or something, right? So, which is pretty good. So, yep, so everything shows, so Mobile, Alabama. All right, so everything shows nice and neat and sweet. All right, so you could also see your color legend there, also showing you from the gradient is going from 6% all the way to 19%, right? All right, so now to go to our question, which was basically asking us what does this map tell you about where the highest rates of unemployment are in Alabama, right? So we basically just want to look for where that heat map is, or where the map is really dark, right? And we could see that in the southern region of Alabama, right? So when we look at it from so when you look at it from the southern part, starting from the east and going all the way to the west, so you can see that Macon, Montgomery, Lowndes, Wilcox, Dallas, Perry, Hill, Green, right? These counties all have very high unemployment rates, right? So we could see it there. So in the southern part, just like in the center there, from east to west, they all have very high and yeah, you can see everything here. They have very high unemployment rates within this axis here, right? So that basically answers our question on like what does this map tell us, right? So the southern part has the west to east of the southern part has a very high unemployment rate, and then up here in the northern part we could see a relatively low, or should I say moderate, right, unemployment rate. It's at maybe 7% to 9%, which is very low compared to 15% or 19% in the southern part. So, and if we wanted to highlight Wilcox, we could just click on it, go to annotate, mark, and put this okay. So let's drag all of this down here, right? So again, we would need to format this, edit, so we can change this. Okay, right, so we have Alabama first, and then going to make this white, right? Yeah, so basically we can see, maybe I should put this in a, this time I'm gonna give it a border. I think just around it. Okay, so, no, border, background. Okay, so now we can see Wilcox, one of the counties in Alabama, has a 19% unemployment rate, right, in that southern region. So this is basically how we can create a map, right, on Tableau. And also annotate the map and make sure we have the formatting done correctly. All right, please leave any questions or comments in the comment section. Like and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you.